would just. Doesn't matter where he is, if he's with his friends, he can be happy.
I love animals. That's a great guy.
Each one of our they gotta figure
in the wild, it's time to panic. For every washed overboard, and the animals wash ashore on the island of Madagascar. When they realize they've been dumped into the wild, it's time to panic for everybody except Marty the zebra, who gets his dream. Marty!
Hey! Hold up! Hold up! Whoa! Here are these citified, civilized lion and a zebra and a giraffe and a hippopotamus wandering around out there in this world, and suddenly they gotta figure it out.
Part of the reason why the Zeusters are on Madagascar is because of a group of displaced penguins who are on a mission of their own.
The penguins are really there for comedy relief.
And they really are whacked. You know, they're just nuts.
They just want to get out of the zoo. And
Animals.
hold on, physically.
We have one main threat, which is the Fusa, and the Fusa eat us. And we happen to witness the lion scare the Fusa off. So we think, oh, well, now maybe we got some friends. So we try to befriend these guys. As we go through the story, I'm always leery of the lion, Ben Stiller. I'm just not.
Private probably won't survive. In fact,
Yes.
What?
you not see that you've insulted the freak?
each one of our movies is meant to take our audience to someplace they've never been before. Madagascar, we know we're going to go to this amazing, world that nobody's ever, really imagined or seen before, at least not the way we've done it.
It was an out-and-out comedy. We knew that from the beginning. So that kind of gave us some ideas initially.
We really wanted to push the design. We wanted to create characters that were overly stylized, not based on reality, so that we could just have a lot of fun with how they looked and how they moved. They could be very human-like when we wanted them to.
Just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. The main characters were designed by Craig Kelman, and he's a fantastic artist. He based his original designs off Golden Book, those old children's books, which were very simplified, straights against curves.
I was also influenced by the old Viewmasters, the old 50s Viewmaster. I thought it'd be cool to have a slick 3D movie that looked like those.
Craig put up his drawings, Jeffrey looked at him, and he said, home run.
I just kind of did a bunch of sketches, and they picked some out. They said, we like these, these 4 drawings, and they just happen to be very graphic, very two-dimensional characters, the kind of designs that they hadn't attempted in 3D before.
Alex is really our lead character. He's very chesty with a small waist, but he also needs to be very expressive. So there's this huge, very simple mane that frames his face.
I love his look. I think his hair is incredible. I wish I had Alex's hair. I'm mesmerized by it. Whenever he shakes his head, it's like this sort of ripple effect. Kind of got like a White Snake, the band White Snake sort of feel. It's that 80s super rock thing.
The unique character designs for Madagascar also carried over into the look of the two worlds.
Range of motion, being
might squash. So they all compress and they store this energy and then they pop out of it. And this happens quite often.
This film needed to be really active and fun, and a lot of the influences were, of course, Tex Avery and Chuck Jones in the 30s and 40s, that they had done this animation that was very broad, very big, very comedic and slapstick.
Oh, I got it! Would you give a guy a break?
But you can't just lift ideas and then put them into 3D and expect them to work. So we really started a little bit of trial and error. Let's try stretching this thing and see what happens. And then there's a lot of problems. When you have fur, it doesn't work just like a simple cartoon would work.
To really get the characters to squash and stretch and have a huge range of motion, being able to take their jaw and drop it down to their chest, that was something new for us to develop.
We would normally have limits on our characters and we would never expect to raise the arm beyond this. This film, we blew those out the door. You know, we have to be able to squish Alex down to a foot high. And
Fun.
he's 8 feet high. We have to be able to stretch his arm out to 11 feet long.
To do that kind of work, we have to be thinking of it ahead of time so that we can set up these puppets, is sort of what they are, these virtual puppets, so that they have that kind of a flexibility. And what that then allows us to do is to really get some really fun snap and action in the animation that we hope is pushing the boundary for computer animation.
And I think it's one of the things that visually is most entertaining about the movie. They're funny.
Bringing Madagascar to the screen.
Freeman.
Out the door.
These storyboards, and you watch it like you would a film, even though it's just drawings one after another. From that point on, just more and more gets added to the mix. It becomes this huge collaborative process. Our artists are allowed to dream more, to imagine more, and the computer's their friend. We don't have 200 technologists who are mad scientists down somewhere trying to invent gizmos and then we figure out how to use them. It's actually the exact reverse of that. We come up with a story, and we're going to need a lot of special tools.
To get the characters to move the way the animators are built from sketches and paintings, so the filmmakers have a three-dimensional perspective of the characters and locations for the movie.
I'll do what is exactly in the painting, but I get to fill in the 360 degrees what's behind it, what's on the side of it. So that's the freedom that I get, is to flesh out a lot of these environments. I did a model of the zoo, and I did the boat, and I did probably a whole forest of baobab trees. In reality, I had no idea that these things even existed, but for some reason I spent a personal, good investment of my life with them for like 5 months, studying these bizarre-looking trees.
To get the characters to move.
It's that kind of a person. It's like, you know, they're monkeys, but they're very high-class monkeys.
If you have any poo, fling it now.
I couldn't believe how they did the water and the fire in the film. It's just so realistic.
We have a lot of water on Madagascar. Quite a few sequences are either on the open ocean or on the beach. We had to design systems where we're literally hand animating the shape of the waves, and we can totally control the timing, the height. There's one sequence where Marty the zebra is actually surfing on the waves, and we had to be able to totally choreograph what the wave was doing.
It's not done. Much more.
I'm
that Donald Trump is speaking at Stony Brook. Well, of course we're going to throw poo at him.
Along with being one of the directors of Shrek 2, I was a plethora of voices in the movie, one being the gingerbread man.
Eat me! I move from this voice here over to
Madagascar, where I am doing now a role called Mason the Monkey. Mason the Monkey, which is a really bad impression of James Mason I used to do. Wake up, you filthy monkey. His tea is perfect, and he likes his paper in the morning. Bagel, cream cheese, just so, so it's that kind of a person. It's like, they're monkeys, but they're very high-class monkeys.
Which is the Fusa.
Gonna face extreme peril. Private probably won't survive.
Once on the island, Alex, Marty, Melman, and Gloria encounter wildlife much different from what they were used to in the Central Park Zoo.
Well, basically what's going on in Madagascar when we're there, we're really kind of party kind of animals. We have one main threat, which is the Fusa, and the Fusa eat us. And we happen to witness the lion scare the Fusa off. So we think, oh, well, now maybe we got some friends. So we try to befriend these guys. As we go through the story, I'm always leery of the lion, Ben Stiller. I'm just not...
Just having cute... Just having cute furry animals isn't enough. The road to Madagascar has got to be fun and reason why the Zoosters are on Madagascar.
And threw him in the jungle.
Furry animals isn't enough. The road to Madagascar has got to be fun and entertaining. To the filmmakers, Alex the Lion isn't the king, the story is.
This film had a great premise. What if you took the cast of Seinfeld and threw them in the jungle? How would they adapt? Then you can take it into storyboard and have artists work on it and start to flesh out these scenes.
There's so many fun ideas that immediately pump into it. You describe that basic idea, and everybody gets
the irony.
And I think that's always what you want to try to have with an animated film.
The irony of the story.